What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another reaction video. We are jumping straight back into IWrocker's channel, and he has a video called American Reacts to 50 Things That Are Only Possible in Australia. I don't know what this is about. Make sure you sub to IWrocker down there. I'll link his channel in the description below, so go make sure you give him some love. Let's jump right into it.
Well, hey there, and welcome back to another episode of
Hello.
American Reacts. We're back in Australia.
We are.
We're looking at 50
I'm
things
in
that
Australia.
are only possible in Australia.
Interesting.
That is kind of a bizarre title. This is from Brightside.
Brightside. I've subbed to them
channel.
too. Make sure
Yeah,
you sub to
the
them.
Australia videos
Very
have been
interesting.
going well. I'm loving it. I'm loving interacting with you guys and always learning so much about this beautiful country.
Hopefully I can teach
Down
you.
under. And this thing hopefully will teach us a lot more. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right into the video. Let's go.
Okay, it's pop quiz time. Which country has the longest fence in the world? How about the second largest Greek population?
I don't know.
3 times more sheep than people? Okay,
Gee, I'm not sure.
One word will give it away. Kangaroos.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
talking about the land down under.
Land
So,
down
what
under.
do you know about Australia?
Australia.
So
know a
let's
little
start
bit.
with the name.
Know a little bit.
Australia comes from the Latin word
Australis.
Australis, which means southern. Way back in the
Okay.
2nd century,
We know that.
there were legends of a mysterious Terra Australis incognita, or unknown southern land. Well,
Interesting.
now it's very known. So let's get to know more about it. Despite
Let's.
the stereotypes of hot, sunny weather year-round, the Australian Alps, which are the highest mountain range in the country, get more snow than the Swiss Alps do.
No, I would have never guessed.
One thing about Australia that is misunderstood is everyone thinks it's hot. Everyone thinks it's hot everywhere 24/7. That is not the case. I don't know the best way to put it. The eastern seaboard of Australia, where Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne are located, from northern New South Wales up to the top of Queensland, majority of the time, it does get cold. Don't get me wrong, it does get cold, but it's more of a humid climate, so it's gonna, the temperature seems to not go too far from each other. Like you might get, some 12-degree days in Queensland, but it's nice. Like we'll have a jumper on and whatnot, but it's nice. Whereas down in Victoria and Tasmania, during their winters, they're going to get a couple of degree days, and it's going to be freezing cold. I'm from Victoria, and it's going to be freezing cold. And come summertime, it's starting to come up to summertime now. We've got a beautiful day outside, and it's one of the last weeks in winter. 25 degrees, I think it is outside in Brisbane. But in Victoria, during the summer, it's very dry heat, and the sun burns you. In Queensland, it gets hot too, don't get me wrong. But we live in a more humid climate, so there's more of a chance that the air is saturated by water, which in turn doesn't make that sun. You don't get that dry heat. You get that humidity in the atmosphere, which makes it a little bit more easy to bear. So temperatures do go up and down, and in the Alps during summertime, the Great Dividing Range it is called, it can snow like a mother. I've never seen snow. I've seen snow from my hometown at the mountains, but never been there.
Guess that.
Skis. The
That's
world's
pretty
longest
interesting,
national
wow.
highway is in Australia.
A1.
That's pretty interesting if that's true. When I think of Australia, I just don't think of snow at all. And from what I've heard, from the awesome people commenting on my videos lately is that snow is not too common.
Grab your skis.
But it is the
The
mountains,
world's
right?
longest
It's
national
not too
highway
common,
is
but
in
it does happen in
Australia.
the mountains.
It
That's pretty
stretches
cool.
for over
But coldness is a
9,000
common
miles.
thing.
Wow.
For comparison, the Earth's diameter is about 7,900 miles.
Wow, how's that
It's
work?
actually a network of highways that connects all capitals of the mainland states.
Wow.
That's
okay.
true.
Now, I'm sure you've heard of the
That's
Great
incredible,
Wall of China.
actually.
It is true.
But what about the Great Fence of Australia? Okay, that's not
No,
what
I
it's
haven't
called,
heard of
but
that.
still, the Dingo Fence in southeast
Nice.
Australia
The Dingo
stretches for
Fence.
nearly 3,500 miles. For comparison, it would easily cover the entire span of the U.S. from
Now that's not a fence I would want to erect. I don't know about you. That is
It's
long.
not one complete fence all the
Look
way
at that. It
through.
goes from LA to the East
Los
Coast.
Angeles to Houghton, Maine.
Jeez.
Now, it might not be so surprising
That's
to know
insanity.
that Australia is huge. It's about the same size as the continental U.S.
Okay.
About 2,500 miles wide.
Very similar in size to the
distance
US.
from the
That's
west to
interesting.
east coast is further than Barcelona to Moscow. In all,
Wow.
Australia is the world's 6th largest country and the only one that's also a whole continent.
That's right. I
But
did
with
know
all
that.
territory, over 80% of Australians live within 60 miles.
So I'm originally from down here, but I currently live up here.
Miles of the coast.
That is so insane.
This
I've
makes
heard
the
that as
country
well.
one of the most coastal dwelling
I mean,
populations in the world.
It is bizarre because a lot of countries don't know are like that. You know, like even in the U.S., there's a lot more people.
We call ourselves the Infinite. Born with the ability to remember.
People here, but a lot of people are on the eastern half of the U.S. and a lot of them are on the coast. But in Australia, it is interesting, right? Like 80%, and they're right by the coast. I mean, you can't blame them. I mean, it's great weather. You got beaches and the ocean. I mean,
That's
yeah,
correct.
who wouldn't want to live on the coast with that much coastline? They have a lot more coastline than, you know, the U.S. does, that's for sure.
And that means a whole lot of beaches. In fact,
Hell
they have
yeah.
so many
Oh, yeah.
that if you decided to visit a new beach every day, it would take you almost 30 years to see them all.
Wow, that is
The
insane.
biggest property
I've
in
heard that.
Australia is about 40.
30 years to see the beach?
Every,
Wait,
every
30
single
years
beach.
to see every single beach there if you went every day? That's mind-blowing, first of all. And, yeah, I'll take up that challenge. Sign me up. Who doesn't like the beach? I mean, seeing that many different beaches? Wow. That is
Yeah.
one major thing, like, Australia's got really going for it that most countries just can't compare to. That is like, wow, beaches galore. That's really neat, really neat.
1,000 square miles in area.
That's a
South
big
Korea
property.
could fit into it with room to spare.
That's pretty trippy.
The country's
Imagine having
termites are
property
busy
bigger than
building huge
another country.
properties as well. Their mounds are the tallest animal-made structures
Ooh,
on this
wow.
planet. Before humans
That's,
arrived,
rather bizarre,
the continent
huh?
was home to megafauna. If you lived there about 46,000 years ago, you'd be dead today.
Long
You
gone
would
dead.
have seen 10-foot tall kangaroos,
Whoa,
23-foot long
no
goanna
way.
lizards, and ducks the size of an adult horse. Quack, quack.
He just said that, but I've never like really. I've never been to a museum or, you know, school teachings. They don't teach us this stuff, so I'm not too. I'm a bit skeptical on it. I don't know if it's exaggerated a little bit or a lot. I know we've had dinosaurs here millions of years ago, but giant duck and giant lizards, like, don't really have giant lizards here. Yeah.
The
No,
largest living
I don't believe
structure on
that.
the planet is the Australian
believe the
Great
duck one.
Barrier Reef.
I'm from the
By the way,
IWrocker,
Great
so
Barrier
it has
Reef
its
is-
own
I feel like I
is
can
epic.
back you
And
up
there's a
on
rumor
that.
that the fish there use eel mail. Yeah. Neither kangaroos nor
Look at this
emus
guy and
can
his
walk
jokes,
backward.
man.
That's a fact. And that's
Look
why
at
they're
this guy and
painted
his
on
jokes.
the Australian coat of arms.
That's cool.
Keep moving forward. The
Emus and
platypus,
kangaroos.
an egg-laying mammal that lives only in Australia, is one of the rare venomous mammals on this planet.
I think only the male is venomous or poisonous or whatever you want to call it. I could be wrong. I think from what I've heard, only the male is.
Luckily,
Venomous.
while the venom has an excruciatingly painful effect on people, it's not lethal. The takeaway, don't fuss with a platypus.
A platypus is venomous? That is something I did not know. Wow. I guess just a lot of stuff in Australia is venomous.
I've never even seen a wild platypus, so I wouldn't know where to find one. Frankly, I don't want to go looking for one either. Let's go to the aquarium or zoo or whatever.
By the way, when the
just
first
have that
platypus was brought
assumption.
to England, people there were sure that it was a joke. The English believed that Australians had sewn a duck's bill onto a rat's body to play a trick on them.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
right up until he bit them. Not laughing now, are you?
Oh jeez.
Swimming in the surf
wow.
during the day had been illegal in Australia up until 1902.
Well, that'd be
But after
lame.
one guy calmly entered the waves of Manly Beach one afternoon that year, surf bathing became increasingly popular.
Didn't know that.
The largest Greek
I
population
imagine.
outside of Greece itself is in Australia.
That's pretty
Actually,
interesting.
to be more precise, in Melbourne.
I knew Melbourne had a very large Greek population, but I did not know that it is the largest Greek population outside of Greece. So that's something I've just learnt. Also, Melbourne, 2 hours this way, that's where I live.
More
Melbourne.
than
Lived.
Come on,
160,000
bro.
people who live there say they come from Greek descent.
That's very,
Melbourne was
very
the
cool.
richest city in the world
Melbourne.
in 1880. These
Gold
days,
mine.
Wow.
Tokyo,
Gold rush.
Japan holds this title.
Richest city in the world, just over 100 years ago, 140-ish. That is very intriguing as well. I would have not have guessed
Gold.
that, but I wouldn't have guessed that based on no knowledge. That's very interesting, right?
The abundance
I've
of
heard
gold.
that Melbourne is a very popular city, very livable city. So I guess, yeah, I guess they would have a lot of money floating around, a lot of success. That's really cool. It's interesting to see Tokyo's #1. Very interesting.
And until 2018, Melbourne had been rated as the most livable city in the
See?
world for 7
That's
years
right.
in a row.
I've heard that
Then
before. 7
it
years
was
in a row is
bumped down to
amazing.
second place after Vienna, Austria. Come on,
Okay.
Melbourne, get back in the game.
Interesting.
Back in the
One of
game.
Melbourne's
Hey, they're
founders
second
was
place. I think
John
they're still in the
Batman.
game.
Yep, that was his real name. And get this, the city was temporarily
Batman, that's
called
funny.
Batmania. Too bad they
No
decided
way.
to change it to Robinville.
I did not know that.
Wow.
In 2018,
This guy and his
Australia
jokes, man.
ranked third
Jeez.
after Norway and Switzerland on the Human Development Index. This index is based on education, life expectancy, and citizens' income.
Wow.
Basically, they got a good thing going down under there.
Yeah, they do.
In
Dang.
2005, security guards
Third on a lot. They're really top ranked on a lot of different things, as in the country and certain cities within it. Very impressive. But I've been very impressed in the last couple weeks with learning about a lot and just honestly scratching the surface about Australia. It's been really fun.
I'm
And
happy to
it's
help.
a fascinating place.
Happy to help.
I've always kind of liked it, though knowing not much about it, just from the minuscule amount I've known as a youngster, you know, it seems like a fascinating place. So the fact that they also have a lot of great things going for them, I mean, what's not to like?
guards at the Parliament House in Canberra
Thank
were
you.
prohibited from
Canberra.
calling people mate.
This guy's
But the ban
pronunciations are
only
pretty
lasted
bad.
for a day,
Even I
mate.
know that.
G'day. If you're ever in Western Australia, you can
What is
visit super salty pink lakes.
Oh,
They get
I
the
heard
Like-
about those too.
Eh?
from a certain type of algae and bacteria. And they're totally
Wow.
safe to swim in.
Look at that.
Just be careful what you chew. Oh,
That's
and
radical,
be sure
man.
to take a selfie while you're swimming in what looks like a giant pool of Pepto-Bismol. You can thank Australia for coming up with the word selfie in the
No
first
way,
place.
really?
There are about 74 million
I mean, that kind of makes sense. They put E on a lot of stuff, you know, Bobby,
Pie.
selfie, footy, you know, they kind of like that. So I guess that makes sense.
people.
Truckee.
There are 25 million people in Australia,
Bobby.
which makes
Jeez.
an impressive ratio of 3 to 1. Only China and India have more than that. Oh,
That's
and the
A
kangaroo
poly.
thing is totally true.
Short for
There are
politician.
twice as
A
many
lot of those.
kangaroos as there are people there. That's 50 to
Jeez.
25 million. Speaking of which, when a
Now, kangaroos are crazy. I'll say this every time I see them in a video. They are mind-blowing to me. They're so bizarre. Obviously, I know nothing about them and have never seen one being in America because they're only in Australia. And it's so cool. They're cool to me, but they're kind of goofy too. And they're kind of creepy almost. Like some of them act really wild and look really strong.
Yeah.
But 50 million, so double the population of humans. I've heard it's even more. I've heard some people say there's 100 million. I don't know, but wallabies are hilarious.
I've driven, from Brisbane to Melbourne a couple of times. I have run into kangaroos, out on those roads. Thankfully, I haven't gotten into an accident with any. But you do see a lot of them on the side of the road from trucks, which is sad. But yeah, you go to the zoo, you can walk into their enclosure that they have. They're a pretty calm animal. I guess it's just when they're defensive or aggressive. That's when they stand up and they do their kickboxing and whatnot. But you can go to a number of zoos and majority of them you'll be able to walk through and buy some food, feed them, pat them, take pictures with them, whatnot. They're pretty calm animal.
Kangaroos are hilarious. I think they're funny.
A baby kangaroo is born. It's only half an inch long. It's
Wow.
also hairless and totally pink.
Jelly
Kind of
bean.
looks like a gummy bear.
Or jelly
What
bean.
else is there in Australia? Oh, that's right, koalas. And to
Yeah.
top that, there are 10 times more camels than koalas. Australia is the source of
There's
a
that
lot of
many
the Middle
camels?
East's camels.
I have heard
Now,
they
in Western
source the Middle East for
Australia,
camels.
it's
I didn't know there
against
were that
the
many
law to be
though.
in possession of more than 110 pounds of potatoes.
Really?
Well, every country has its obscure, bizarre laws.
Yeah, that's true.
The
What?
architect of the world-famous Sydney Opera House got the idea of this unique construction while munching on an orange. If you combine all the sails of the building's roof, you'll get a perfect sphere. The most
really?
ancient fossils in the world were
Terrible.
found in Australia. They were no
Terrible
less than
architecture.
3.4 billion years old, even older than my leftovers in the fridge. There
This
are
guy,
so many
man,
different
this guy and his
species in
jokes
this
are
country
ridiculous.
that only 25% of them have been discovered so far.
Jeez, that's
Of the animals
freaking
discovered
nuts.
to be native to Australia, none have hooves.
Wow,
Burger King
what is that about?
miraculously turns into Hungry Jacks as soon as you land in Australia.
Hungry?
Hungry Jack's. The best fast food restaurant. Not McDonald's. I've had enough bad with McDonald's. They always stuff up the order. Ice cream machine's broken. I've had enough. They're paying more for the same thing you can get at Hungry Jack's the majority of the time. Their customer service is shit. And they're just terrible. So I go Hungry Jack's. Cheaper. Burgers are better at Hungry Jack's. Chips are better at Hungry Jack's. Straws are better at Hungry Jack's.
Hungry Jacks? Really?
It's the
Okay.
Aussie franchise of the famous fast food chain.
Well, that's
Australia
interesting.
is a unique continent that doesn't house any active volcanoes. It's also the
Yeah, do you guys have... Okay, so Burger King is Hungry Jack's. Do you guys
Yep.
have McDonald's? I would think McDonald's is everywhere. So you guys probably have McDonald's. What else? Do you guys have Taco Bell? Taco John's, stuff like that.
Our major fast food restaurants are McDonald's, KFC, Hungry Jack's, Subway. Taco Bell has started to take off here. I mean, I think there's a couple of stores in Queensland, few and far between, and then there's a couple of Carl Juniors. I think there's like 4 or 5 Carl Juniors, and there might be 4 or 5 Taco Bells as well. Not a lot. We don't have any, Chick-fil-A or Wendy's or Denny's, or we don't really have those buffet options here, or even a bigger range of fast food outlets, which probably limits the competition with McDonald's and Hungry Jack's, especially with their prices. McDonald's especially.
Do you have Jack in the Box,
Nope.
Hardee's, stuff
Nope.
like that? I'd be interested to find that out for sure.
Flattest continent on our planet, but it's got plenty of
What?
mountains, and one of them. It's also the flattest continent on our planet.
Really? The
But
flattest?
it's got plenty of mountains.
Yeah.
And one of them is called Mount Disappointment.
That's true.
It's 2,600
It's in
feet
Victoria.
tall. And naturally,
Mount Disappointment,
explorers
wow.
William Hovell and Hamilton Hume expected to see a great view from the top. However, after climbing the mountain, they discovered that there were too many trees growing on top and blocking the view completely.
Oh,
Guess how the
man.
men
That's true.
felt.
That is very true.
That's too bad.
Australia has tons of unique flora and fauna species.
That is interesting, flattest continent. Wow, because a lot of clips I've seen learning about the country the last couple weeks, been a lot of rolling hills and mountains, but, you know, I don't know. It just depends, I guess.
That you
A lot of
won't
it's all
find anywhere
segregated
else
in
world.
the east.
Among those are a staggering 1,500 spider species. Spider species.
Ooh.
Yeah. On the bright
That's a
side,
lot.
and we are. Well, some of
That's a
them
lot
are
of
fatally
spiders.
poisonous. Most are completely harmless.
Yeah,
But how do
that's
I tell
true.
them apart? Oh, the poisonous ones wear signs. Got it. It's also where you'll
Redback, whitetail. They're the two to watch out for in Australia. There's another one, funnel web, I think.
find 21 of the world's top 25 most venomous snakes.
I don't do
More than
spiders.
90% of Australia
Do not
is
do
covered
spiders.
with some kind of vegetation. Since 1988,
Okay.
Australia has had a national floral emblem, and it's the golden wattle. When this plant blooms, it gets covered with the country's
That's pretty
national
neat.
colors, green and gold.
That's pretty neat. I
Australia
like
is a
that.
multinational country with more than 200 different languages and dialects spoken there. The most
Wow, I
popular
would've never guessed that.
non-English languages are Mandarin, Greek, Arabic, Vietnamese, and Cantonese.
Very
There are
cool.
19 UNESCO World Heritage Sites in Australia, including 12 natural sites, 3 cultural sites, and 4 mixed sites.
Wow.
The difference between Australia's total length and its width is only 200 miles.
Doesn't
Wow.
look like
Hey,
it,
you
but
have an
it,
8-hour working
it's
day.
deceiving.
You can thank Australian stonemasons for that. In 1865, they demanded to make 8-hour shifts the standard, and it spread throughout the world from there.
No
With 8
way. I
people
would have
per
never
square
guessed
mile,
that.
Australia has an extremely low population density. For
Yeah.
comparison, there are about 93 people per square mile in the U.S.
Wow.
The national
That's a lot
Australian
different.
airline, Qantas, uses recycled cooking oil to power its interstate flights. So, have I missed any cool
Wow.
facts about Australia?
That's bizarre as well.
Let me know down in the comments. If you learned something new today, then
That's about
give this
it, then.
video a like and share it with a friend.
So, yeah, that's it for that one. That had a lot of interesting facts. I felt like it went quick. I don't know. Was that 50 things? I don't know if that was. But we'll go ahead and throw a thumbs up on there. Yeah, Australia, man, is just a bizarre place in a good way. It's very unique, in my opinion. In such a big and diverse world we have, you know, Australia tends to have its own identity very well. I feel like a lot of people around the world know Australia. It's easy to find on a map. It's got its own kind of flair on everything, right? So yeah, it's very interesting. I always find it intriguing, and I really do enjoy learning about it. I just can't.
Thank you very much for that video, IWrocker. Thank you very much for everyone who's watching at home. Make sure you go subscribe to IWrocker. That's IWrocker. 50 things about Australia. That was quite interesting. Hopefully my feedback was enough for foreigners watching to understand from an Australian point of view the way we perceive things when these videos pop up. You know, it's always good to help an American or, you know, a Brit or anything learn about our country from watching these videos, but also doing this type of reaction back to reaction. I've always wanted to do these, but I've never done it. Hopefully what I'm giving back in this video, you guys can learn from that as well as from watching just these videos. So anyways guys, thanks for watching the video. Please make sure to hit that like button if you did like this for more. Hit that subscribe button down below if you want to stay tuned and show me that you are liking these videos, and hopefully IWrocker doesn't mind me using his video. I have reached out to him. Hopefully he gets back to me. I reached out to you on Instagram at Notorious Gaming. So go follow IWrocker on Instagram as well. Hit his sub button as many times as you can. Get your friends to follow him. Subscribe to him. Like the videos. He's doing a wonderful job, and there is much more to come. Alrighty guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.